one set of rules for them and one set of rules for everyone else when it comes to paying taxes. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have on this matter.
Any way or any evidence that the money he would have earned through his parents would flow through his corporation or through some sort of personal income taxation?
Well, he set up L. Franken Incorporated to basically be the entity for billing and conducting the transactions of L. Franken, the celebrity. And, you know, my thought is this story was first broke by us by 24 hours from now. If he had run all this income through his personal tax returns, that would have been an easy answer. He could have given right out of the gate. Here's been 24 hours and we haven't heard that. So it really defies logic that he's going to come up with that answer and be able to provide evidence of that. Again, it just would be contrary to common sense, and it would have been the easy answer to put the story to bed immediately.
From a business standpoint, is there any reason why you would run it through your personal income tax instead of those corporate tax?
Well, actually, the state of California said in the Star Tribune report this morning that the tax rate on individuals is higher than it is in running it as a corporation. So again, economically, it made no sense whatsoever to for Al Franken to have taken this income individually versus through his corporate structure.
But just in general tax law, and I'm sure you've looked at New York, California, Minnesota, do small business owners usually pay taxes on personal income? Is all counted as personal income?
Well, I'm not a tax accountant or a tax attorney, so I'm going to leave that for the people who are experts in that field. Again, if Al Franken truly had this income go through his personal tax return and bypass his corporate entity, he should just come clean and say that, and then again, we can all go home and say the end of the story. He hasn't done that. I think that is very, very telling. And again, it just defies logic. Why would he set up Al Franken Incorporated for these activities and then not use this over those 4 years in California?
And just to be clear then, are you suggesting at all that he's hiding income, hiding taxes, not paying taxes?
I can't speculate what the motives are, but the bottom line is that it's very clear that under California law, he was conducting business in California, despite what he told us last week. And by conducting business in California, that comes with certain tax responsibility for the income earned. And we don't know if it's $10,000 or $10 million that he generated through his business activities in California. What we do know from the state of California is that he did not pay any tax in California on income earned in California from 2003 on.
One more question, if I could, on this. You're providing these documents of speakers bureaus and possible appearances in other parts of California, suggesting that there are multiple appearances in which he's getting paid $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 per appearance. Is that accurate?
We don't know, but we're just giving people in the state an evidence of this is what he typically charges for an appearance through not just one but 13 speaker bureaus where he's registered. And so you can draw your own conclusions as to what he may have been paid. We don't know, and that's what we're challenging the state of California to investigate this and get to the bottom of. How much earned income did Al Franken have in the state of California that was not reported on tax returns and tax was not paid for on that income?
You don't know at this point that he earned income that was not.
Well, we do know that he's a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and we know that he has documented 2 appearances in Jay Leno in California that would constitute doing business in California. He would have received compensation. So just those 2 appearances alone, I was asking a subject matter expert, and they said just those appearances alone would have generated income that would have required him to pay tax in California, and that tax has not been paid. So that, we think, is the tip of the iceberg that we do know for a fact. Now, you know, if all these appearances, instead of getting his typical $25,000 to $50,000 appearance fee, he did pro bono, again, then it's going to be a small tax liability. It could be very substantial, and that's what we're challenging the state of California today, giving them this information so they can investigate and hopefully get to the bottom of what is the back tax owed.
But you do not yet know for a fact that he's not going to pay his taxes. This is the question.
Well, the state of California has stated publicly that he has not paid any tax on income earned in California from 2003 through 2007. It was reported in the Star Tribune that the state of California has made that statement. So that's so I think it's pretty clear that he has not. And he put out this letter last week. His campaign put this letter out saying that he had ceased doing the business in California. And this letter raises more questions than it answers. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know a single CPA firm that submits correspondence without on a white sheet of paper with no letterhead, no contact information, no signature. The corporate number on that letter is not Al Franken's Incorporated corporate number for the state of California. it looks like something that's cooked up at the last minute to try to respond to information the Republican Party put out last week. And then if we're to believe this is true, why would the same individuals, the same CPA firm, fill out these disclosure statements after this letter had been submitted to shut down the corporation? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you say you shut down the corporation only to continue filing reports with the state of California saying you are operating and doing business in the state of California?
So not only are you saying that he's a tax cheat, you're saying this letter's fake?
I think this letter raises a lot of questions that, and this person here, who we don't have any idea who this is can't be found to address. Did she in fact do this letter back in 2003? But the Franken campaign said this is a legitimate letter. It does not look like correspondence coming from a CPA firm. I challenge any CPA firm to say this is how they would correspond with an official government entity. And again, the fact that these disclosures came out after the fact, it looks like this letter doesn't match with the facts right here of where Al Franken Incorporated is stating to the state of California they are indeed conducting business. It does prove that the statements by the Franken campaign last week that they weren't doing business in California were simply a falsehood. The fact that now we have evidence showing that they themselves, Al Franken's own accountants, were stating to California that they were indeed doing business. So there's a lot of contradiction going on from the Franken campaign with all this information, and the fact that he hasn't paid his income tax is just another part of the story.
Are you alleging any kind of criminal activity on behalf of Mr. Franken or his associates?
I don't know California law and what not paying your taxes leads to, and I guess that's something we'll let the state of California give you information as to. If somebody does not pay their taxes, what is the consequences under California law?
So you're speculating that the letter was forged, you're speculating that Franken got paid for all these events in California, you're speculating that he didn't pay income tax on it.
Well, he did not. I think we know for a fact that he has received income from appearances and business activity in California. I think that is a fact. I mean, you don't appear in Jay Leno as a member of the Screen Actors Guild and not get compensated for that as a minimum. And we think, again, that's the minimum. He's going to have to get us all to believe that all these other appearances, where he usually gets $25,000 to $50,000 for an appearance across the country, when he goes to California, everything is pro bono. That, I think, is a real stretch for people to buy into that. And if he did get paid a fee for his California appearances, then we know it's a fact that he did not pay income tax on that. And I look at that, the fact that here you have a celebrity, a Hollywood celebrity, that is charging $25,000 to $50,000 for an appearance, not paying their taxes. That's an insult to the millions of Minnesotans who work hard, pay their taxes on time as they struggle to make ends meet. That is something that I can't fathom why somebody like that is qualified to represent those same hardworking citizens as a United States Senator.
Just one thing, Mr. Chairman. What you're turning over to California is what you showed us yesterday, which is the 32 events.
The 32 events that we have been able to find that are definite appearances of Al Franken. And again, we think that that could be the tip of the iceberg. We used the best research tools we had here in a short period of time to uncover those. And we don't know if there wouldn't be another, 32 or 320, appearances he made in that same period of time for which he received compensation. That's what we're bringing this information to the state of California and encouraging them to conduct their own internal investigation on this, so that if Mr. Franken has back taxes owed, or we know he has back taxes owed, but they can discover the extent of that and then make sure he's paying the taxes just like every other citizen has to pay.
And this reflects on his fitness for the Senate candidate as well.
Well, I don't think Minnesotans want a U.S. Senator who doesn't pay their taxes. And, I think this is a very serious issue that I pay my taxes. The people in the state that work hard, they pay their taxes. Why shouldn't